We're about to make some elk burgers on the Tuscan grill. Shout out to teacher Abby for the ground elk. Let's get started. Ground elk. Someone online told me if you mix the ground elk with butter, your burgers will taste that much better. This elk meat's already 15% beef fat, but let's see if it makes a difference. I'm gonna take this butter, I'm gonna toss it in here, and we're just gonna let it melt real quick. These we can already start molding. We wanna keep it nice and loose. That's what the internet people said. You don't wanna work it too much. One of the things about cooking on the Tuscan grill, it's really easy for the meat to turn into a ball in here. It's time to check up on that butter. Look at that, that's completely melted. You're just gonna pour it over, mix it in a little. A lot easier to move once you have that butter on there. I let the butter cool down a little bit just so it wouldn't cook as you put it on here. We're going to move the fire to the back and we're gonna bring the coals up. If you've watched this channel, you've probably seen me do this a bunch of times. We're gonna bring some of them up to the front, not all of them. Ideally, what I would do after this is put ash on top of this, but the fire hasn't developed enough for me to have that ash as of right now. So we probably are going to get some flare-ups. I'm gonna stick this back there. People say, oh, don't use these, but if they're nice and clean, I will use these. A lot of people don't because of the bark, but that bark is so small on these and they hold their heat a lot better than the actual split logs. So I'm gonna throw that back there. Eventually that'll catch fire too. I'm letting these cool down just a tad bit. I'm gonna place that right there. Now that we have that, we're gonna put this right on top, gonna get it nice and hot. We're gonna make the little indent in the middle with butter on one side, without butter on the other. Let's throw them on. I'm going to season with finishing salt after. I just want to use salt. I really wanna get the taste of the elk to come through that meat. And if I ruin these, I'm still going to post this. Make sure you keep watching. If you're enjoying this, like, subscribe, support the channel. The people on the internet said, cook the meat to 160 when it's ground elk. If it's not ground, you can go 145 and you can go lower. I'm going to give you a pro tip. When you put the meat in, suffocate the fire. You'll get all of this smoke and you'll be able to taste it in the meat. I've been doing this all summer and that's something I really enjoy doing. Pro tip number 2, don't keep this piece of wood too close to the mouth of the oven. Oh yeah, they're cooking up. You can see the one without the butter cracking a little bit. These are holding their form a little bit better. Let's go back in. And you're finally getting the smell of the meat. It's not like beef. With beef, right off the bat, you start getting that smell. With this, it took a little bit longer. So you want to get everything completely caramelized. You don't necessarily want anything in a char. You just want that perfect caramelization all the way across. Another thing I've learned from cooking all summer is almost every meat comes out better when you cook it for a longer amount of time, slowly. Almost every meat, at least in my experience. That around 130 right now, we're going to flip them. So let's flip that over. All right, this is what the burgers are looking like so far. Look at that. Yeah, perfect caramelization, but not a lot of char marks. That's exactly what you want. Again, shout out to teacher Abby for the meat. We're at 160, that's it. 160, there we go. Something that I have to tell you is that there's not going to be an exact time when you're using something like a Tuscan grill. There's no exact time. It depends on the wood. It depends on the oven's temperature. It depends on so many different factors that I can't tell you, oh yeah, you put it in there for 5 minutes and you take it out. And that is what makes us so unique. Let's take the whole thing out. I like to use the Polino. Get right under it. Bring it out. Wow, look how perfect these are. Look how perfect that is. Nailed it. If I could go back, it charred just a tad bit too much there, but see all that caramelization? That is what you want. You want that caramelization. And I'm pretty shocked right now because the ones with butter cook the same as the ones without butter. We got some Maldon. Sticking that on here. Really want the flavor of the elk. Salted them on one side, going to salt them on the other. Just in case you're wondering, bottom side also perfectly cooked. Nailed it. I'm gonna take a bite right now. There's this bald podcaster that keeps on talking about elk meat, so let's see how it holds up. It doesn't taste much different than grass-fed beef. The gaminess factor is definitely like 2 or 3 notches above grass-fed beef. Now let's try without the butter. This without the butter, they taste so similar to me that I can't even tell the difference. I honestly can't taste the difference with or without the butter. I was paranoid that these were gonna dry out. They didn't dry out at all. That was good. I feel like I just won.